All right, it's just about done. There's one last little phase of this, and we'll be done with this song. Will be cooked, and this is on the master output. We're going to do what's called a mastering compression, and this isn't exactly the same thing as mastering, but it's kind of like a pre-mastering thing. I use a multiband compressor here. This is pretty interesting. I'll put it over here on this screen so it's a little easier to see. We have bands of sound here, and each one of these different bands, you can solo and listen to them. So that's just the low frequencies. And we can vary how much compression we put on each section, each frequency. So this is just compressing the low frequencies, that's it. So, but of course that's not the way it's going to stay. We're going to compress all of the frequencies. Then once you compress all of the frequencies, you can turn everything up. And this is kind of a general just look at here where you want to see everything kind of bumping a bit, but not too much. You don't want it to bump too much. Now, when we're doing this part of the mix down and this part of the mastering section of the recording, we're kind of keeping an eye on the visual too, because we want to be able to see kind of a little slope here. It's just like a little mountain slope. Of course, every song's going to be different, so there's no. This is the absolute way it's supposed to look. There's no way to say exactly how it's supposed to look, but you want it to sound good and look good as best you can. That's a pretty sweet curve there, so that's I'm pretty happy with that. More than likely, when you play this somewhere and it sounds good in here and looks good on there, it's going to sound good no matter where you play it. That's just kind of the both sides of it. So. Alrighty then. Well, there you go. We're going to take another quick break here and reboot the computer. And we're back again. Well, at least I eliminated the issue here. It's definitely a problem with overheating. So the computer was actually overheating, and I went there and cleaned out some of the dust out of it and adjusted the temperature a little bit so it won't turn off quite as quickly. But that was the problem with it. So let's see, we were in the multiband compression phase ending of it, which is basically trying to level up all of the sounds and make sure all the frequencies are even. So let's see where we're at here with that. Okay, so that's coming pretty close. And I have one last little thing I'd like to do, and this is a tube, like a simulator, tube amp simulator. and it kind of warms up the sound a little bit and takes a little of the digital edge off of it. So I'm going to add that to it, and we should be done. Let's listen. I see one of the restarts here took out the fade in that we had set up here at the beginning. Stick that back in there. Okay, I'm happy with it. So then actually the last little piece of the puzzle here is to export it. And some situations you have to listen to the whole thing to export it from beginning to end. But with this one you can just export it as a file. Actually we need to save it again because we're the autosave copy of the autosave copy. So let's save this as song. Replace it. Also, you see how there's a bunch of space here at the beginning? I'm just going to drag this so it's closer to the beginning, so there's not that big gap of music before everything starts. So just put it right up next to it. There'll be a gap of dead space when you export it if you don't, if you don't put that in there. We're actually going to do one little trick here. Sometimes the reverb at the end gets chopped off. So what I like to do is kind of drag a piece of music out here for no reason and mute it so that we're sure that we have a nice fade out. Oh, let's listen. Basically right there, time we need to have the end of the song. So basically this just becomes kind of a dummy empty space here, but the reverb and the effects continue to trail off through here. Otherwise all the effects would stop right there at the end of the song. Alright. And then basically here all we do is file, export, audio. And I don't have a directory set. I guess I do BB tracks. I'll set it up here. I call it YouTube. And now it exports. And basically the mix down thing, as soon as it gets finished, it's got a 2-track mix. You can actually see on this computer all the effects are being done in real, not quite in real time, but as the effects are being played, they're showing up on the display here. So anyway, that's it. So hopefully Ryan will have all this stuff put together and up on the web in the next day or so. Y'all have any questions, be sure to leave comments on the YouTube site and I'll get back to you. See ya.